Hello and welcome! It is No Band List Modern Time. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by Shadow Totella. We are ready for the Gauntlet of Greatness. It's week 5. Every deck has now made its debut in the tournament, and we're going to circle back through the groups again. The winners will play for spot in the playoffs. The decks that lost the first round, though, they're playing elimination matches, and that's what we've got queued up right here. So here is Group A. Elves and Delver is the matchup we're about to play, and the winner is out. The loser is out. The winner has to play one more match. Well, essentially, the winner earns a win-in against either Stoneforge or Pod. Other matchups to look forward to next week. We will go back to Group B, where Infect and Storm will play the elimination match. Twin will play Death and Taxes for a spot in the playoffs. In Group C, it is Dredge and Eggs that won the first week. Jund is... I don't know if Jund can hang in No Band List Modern, but I don't think he can hang in this group. We'll see how that goes. Maybe it's got enough to disrupt the Hypergenesis deck. We'll see. Group D, Miracles and Thopter Depths play the elimination match. It'll be Affinity versus Breach Post for a spot in the playoffs. So that's where things stand. 4 weeks in, we're back to Group A now, and yeah, here's the matchup. Couple of very expected decks. Both of these decks are just damn fine Magic strategies, quite frankly. Here's the Delver list. This is different from the Delver list we played in week 1. We decided, I had grabbed a list. It looked kind of cool. It was splashing black for Dark Confidant. It was doing too much. You want simple with Delver. You want elegant. You want streamlined is what you really want. So here you go. Blue-red Delver, a couple of Skull Clamps. You've got the obvious creatures, the Swift Spears, the Delvers, the Young Pyromancers. You get to refill with Treasure Cruise, and then it's 31 drops. It's just all cantrips, and firing off Young Pyromancer tokens. A little bit of permission. The Mana Leaks and the Mental Missteps are really nice in this deck. I think this is just a better version. The sideboard's pretty solid too. Lots of stuff against everything. In particular, I think in this matchup, these Electriceries may be pretty annoying for me and my Elf deck. Let's look at that Elf deck. This is, again, one of the obvious contenders. I don't know exactly what the right way is to build Elves for No Band List Modern. This seems to me like it's got all the right kinds of things, right? Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor, or whatever part of the mana engine you happen to need. You've got a ton of Elves. You've got Glimpse of Nature, Mental Misstep. Gang's all here. Didn't quite work out against the Pod deck last week, but we'll find out what happens here. You like your chances here, Shadow, or you just always like your chances when you're playing a Delver deck?
I always like my chances when I'm playing Delver. This is my new Delver list. Plus, I have at least one gut shot in the board. And I always feel good if I can pull in a gut shot. Always feel good.
Fair enough. All right, well, I will set up a match for us to play. I am on Elves. I am in Constructed Open Play, getting serious. Freeform, 60 minutes. And I'm hosting a match if you want to come fight me. Meanwhile, I will mute you. We can chat more after the match. Good luck.
Good luck.
All right. Let us see what happens. We won the roll. That part's good. What does this draw do? It's got a Skull Clamp, Heritage Druid, Green Sun Zenith. I mean, this has got to be good, right? I mean, I've got Skull Clamp to just start the card drawing engine. I've got Misstep for whatever his first thing is. The only question is what I play on turn 1. Like, do I lead Heritage Druid? Or do I could Green Sun Zenith for Dryad Arbor? I don't really need mana, though. I feel like Green Sun Zenith for Nettle Sentinel is probably going to work out better. Then I've got the Nettle Sentinel Heritage Druid thing going. Oh, I lost the die roll. So I just counter the Swift Spear, right? Yeah, I don't want to let him start killing me. Yeah, let's just stop that. I'm actually happier to be on the draw. It gives me a little more information for the Green Sun Zenith. Another Heritage Druid. So Need Feel No Guilt and Skull Clamping the first one away. Definitely want to get this down while I can get it down untapped. Yeah, I think I just lead Heritage Druid. Sure. More Swift Spears. That one can attack me. Can't do anything about a Gataxian Probe. So what's my plan here? Is it Skull Clamp? Is it Heritage Druid? Is it Nettle Sentinel? Hopefully I draw a spell that makes everything clear. Visionary. Alright. I think I just play Visionary here then, right? Yeah, I want more cards. So, I'm hoping to draw Green Sun Zenith, obviously. I'm hoping to draw Glimpse of Nature is what I'm really hoping to draw. Okay, there's the Nettle Sentinel. Can't quite, don't have 3 elves. So Heritage Druid doesn't make mana yet. But next turn, and start going off to the races. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Where's my mental misstep now? Good grief. Ow. That card's been wrecking elf decks in every format since it's been printed, I think. Now what? I have 3 mana. I can sort of get my hand onto the table, but what does that do? Am I actually going to use this Green Sun Zenith for something large, like the Crater Hoof? If I go creature, 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 then next turn I have 3, 6 mana. I can Skull Clamp, obviously. Yikes, that Forked Bolt was insane. Huh. I can play Heritage Druid, Nettle Sentinel, Llanowar Elves, tap them off for mana via Heritage Druid, Skull Clamp, clamp the Elves, draw 2 cards, maybe play one of them. I don't know how... that's what I'm going to do. I don't feel like... don't know quite how this all comes together from there, but it's better than not doing all those things. Nettle Sentinel triggers don't do anything yet. But now we have a Heritage Druid. Visionary Dwynen's Elite, which are exciting cards, although they don't do anything yet. They make me want more mana is what they make me want. What am I using this Green Sun Zenith for? I have 1 mana, so I could get a Dryad Arbor here and just have another mana for next turn. I could Zenith for Dwynen's Elite. I could have Zenith for Dwynen's Elite instead of playing the Skull Clamp. But then I wouldn't have the Zenith. I kind of wanted to save the Zenith to see whatever I wanted. I don't know if that's a punt. I guess I mean, I could have gotten the Dwynen's Elite and then done the Skull Clamp trick, but then, like, Zenith for Craterhoof is a direction that this hand could go. Well, could have gone. It doesn't go there anymore. I'm going to Zenith for Dryad Arbor. Which probably means that in retrospect I would have been better off Zenithing for Dwynen's Elite when I had the mana. I mean, the real problem is I'm not getting ahead. I'm not actually building a board if I'm skull clamping my way through it. And I don't have Glimpse of Nature to turn all this into extra cards. I don't have a whole lot that I'm doing with Metal Sentinel. Could try to double block, but all that open mana. I want more cards. And I've got this ground kind of stabilized. I mean, Metal Sentinel blocks reasonably well. Glimpse of Nature, that's kind of exactly what I was hoping for. Great. Now, let's see if Glimpse of Nature resolves. Wish I had an elf for this. Don't have another elf. And he's got the Misstep. Oh, he's got a Mana Leak. He has Deprive. Wow. Nice, good beats. Play Dwynen's Elite first because he makes more mana. Yep. I could play. I haven't played a land this turn, so I'd probably play Dryad Arbor, eat that with the Skull Clamp, right? Still have the ability to make 3 mana. Yeah, that sounds right. Deathrite and a Skull Clamp. So I can make 3 mana. Sure, that's what I should do. I can play Deathrite. Get the Sentinel untapped again. And then, yeah. Let's eat some cards. See what we find. We find a Glimpse and a Llanowar Elves. Interesting. If I Glimpse, I don't get anywhere. If I Llanowar Elves, I get to resolve it, but it doesn't really do anything. So maybe I save both of them for next turn? Interesting. I could also make Sentinel a 3/1 and make it just a much better blocker for Swift Spear. I could probably get to trade. Then I'm down my Nettle Sentinel, but I'm not hurting for mana. Yeah, I think I'm just going to make a 3/1 blocker and say go. Alright, I mean, we're skull clamping our way 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1, right? I mean, some of what I'm accumulating is leftover lands or a backup Skull Clamp, but I'm also building out a board that is a little tricky for him to attack into. And at some point, I'll be able to get a hammer. Oh, here's Treasure Cruise. Yup. Can't do anything about Treasure Cruise. I'm going to block this Swift Spear. Even though he might be able to have another Prowess trigger to run it over, I get 2 cards, which I think is pretty valuable here, and I avoid taking 3-ish damage. I don't think he'll attack with Pyromancer. And Shaman can block a token. I mean, I'm going to survive this turn. Next turn starts to get sketchy. But hopefully I draw 2 from a block, I glimpse, I play some guys, maybe we can build up to a Crater Hoof or something. Just don't feel like I actually turn a profit on mana. Like, I kind of stay even. It just doesn't feel like it's nearly the fine-tuned machine that Berlin deck was back in the day. He is attacking with the Pyro. Interesting. I mean, Shaman could trade for Pyromancer. I feel like I want to block the Swift Spear. Yeah, I'm going to try it this way. We're going to have less elves for next turn, but we're going to have some cards. We're only going to take 3. We're going to kill young Pyromancer. Wow, he didn't have a trick. We even get to trade with the Swift Spear, so his board is down to 4 dorks. Nice. Second Llanowar Elves is good. Okay, replacement. Makes a little bit of sense. Alright. Clearly I want a glimpse. To start. Great. Now what? I guess I might as well tap these to start. No, there's some value in having the 2/2 untapped. I'll do it this way to start. Draw Visionary. Can I afford to play one more else? Yeah, I can. All right. Nettle Sentinel, great. Second Glimpse. So I can make 3 mana. And now it's got to be Second Glimpse, right? I've got enough mana for Second Glimpse, Visionary, untapping Sentinel to make 3 more mana. All right, Second Glimpse. Surely we've got things up and running with this deck finally. I haven't even played a land this turn. Here is Visionary, which doesn't actually make mana yet because there's no Birchlore Ranger. The Heritage Druid that takes 3. Now there's the Crater Hoof Behemoth. So the question is, how do I get enough mana to actually be able to deploy all this stuff? Well, all this hand does for now is it plays another Visionary. I feel like I might just need more 1-drop Elves. Too many Skull Clamps, too many Mental Missteps. Like, how good would those have been if they were 1-drop Elves, right? Okay. Heritage Druid. Dwynen's Elite replaces itself immediately and makes 3 mana. That's got to be good. That's 2 mana to generate, well, to generate 3, essentially. So let's do that. I mean, second Nettle Sentinel would have us off to the races. Can I get to second Nettle Sentinel here? Surely. So I tap these 3. And what? If I Green Sun Zenith for 1, then I have 2 mana and I get a second Nettle Sentinel. And then Llanowar Elves makes 3 mana. Deathrite Shaman makes 3 mana. That's got to be the play. X is 1. Yes, untap Sentinel. New Sentinel. Can't tap anything for mana yet, which is less than ideal, but what are you going to do? Drew a 1-mana elf. Excellent. So, Heritage Druid, tapping these 3. I start turning a profit here now, right? Isn't that how this works? Green Sun Zenith, Green Sun Zenith. Heritage Druid. So I can play Deathrite Shaman. Untap. Untap. Draw, draw. So now I make 8. Right? Which lets me play Crater Hoof Behemoth, which has got to be lethal, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Huzzah! We did it. Kablam! Everything is gigantic. Cool. Felt like a little bit of a struggle, but we got there. I mean, that's basically what the deck is designed to do. It takes a little run. It really needs 2 Nettle Sentinels to keep going. I don't remember that being true from back in the day. Maybe that was always true, and I need to be more aggressive about getting the Nettle Sentinels. But, hey, here we are. All right. I don't think Rurik Thar is as good as Dragonlord Atarka. I mean, I think being able to just come down and blow up his board is more relevant as my other fatty. And I really feel like there's too many Skull Clamps. I mean, Skull Clamp kind of won us that game. I mean, we got there, so maybe I'll stick with 3. But just having the ability to interact with his board a little bit is useful. Yeah, I'm going to play it this way. I mean, that was a Skull Clamp game, pretty much, so I'm going to go with 3. It's possible 2's a better number. I mean, it's the backup plan. But we'll give it another shot since it basically won us that game. All right. Loser if this match is out. Delver may be going by the wayside. Elves could still lose it. All right, so this is, we have a Sentinel, which is great. We have 2 mental miss. I mean, I'm going to keep this hand. All these cards look good. My 1 land is fine. This is kind of like, how good is this card in this deck? Well, I'm not countering a Git Probe. That's not impactful enough. I mean, essentially, these buy me time, right? They're not synergistic with the rest of what's going on, but they're just so good in the format. I mean, the theory is supposed to be that this buys me enough turns to make up for it, I guess. I mean, there's some chance it's wrong to have them in this deck, but they seem so good. Like, if he doesn't have a creature to attack with, we just get a lot more time. I lead Sentinel, right? If I lead Deathrite, then I get a land I get a mana out of it next turn. Maybe that's better? Don't have a Green Sun Zenith. I mean, don't have a Glimpse of Nature. I feel like this might be a beatdown game. I'm gonna lead Sentinel. I can curve Sentinel into Elite. I'm hitting him pretty hard, especially he's down to 4 cards, right? He failed to stick his Delver. Yeah, he's cantripping already without a Pyromancer to throw off tokens. Maybe I'm supposed to play Sentinel on the first... I mean, Shaman on the first turn. This hits for more damage. Like, this is me attacking. I'm developing my board slower, but I'm attacking him for more damage. And all my stuff is cheap. It's not like I have anything to do with the Deathrite Shaman mana. Let's see. Am I willing to pay for black mana here? I think I am. Well, I mean, I have black mana off the... No, having black mana to activate Deathrite Shaman with is useful, so I'm going to pay. And if you didn't like me not playing Deathrite Shaman on the first turn, you're probably even less happy here. There's also, I mean, in a weird way, I feel like there's a little bit of value in saving the 1 mana elves for a big glimpse turn. Like, I knew I wanted to play Dwynen's Elite this turn. Oh, he fizzles my Dwynen's Elite. The 1 of Vapor Snag means I don't have an elf here. What's up with that? That was annoying. I mean, I guess it's him spending a whole card on that is probably a good trade for me, but it's still annoying. You have a Jete but no creatures. Now I have a Glimpse. Now this is interesting. I mean, I have a Glimpse, but I have very little mana. Right? I mean, if I Glimpse, I'm playing 1 creature. I mean, I can just cantrip my way through the Glimpse, but I mean, I can also play Sentinel Deathrite. He's down to 9. I could also get Dryad Arbor. Yeah, I could go Dryad Arbor and Deathrite Shaman. I could even get a Deathrite Shaman from my library. He's at 9. He's a Jete but no creatures. I mean, if I hit land off the top, it's great. I could Green Sun Zenith for Heritage Druid. And then next turn, I can glimpse. Nettle Sentinel makes 3 mana. That actually sounds kind of exciting. It's a little bit cross purposes, right? I've got this beatdown draw going. I'm going to take a turn off to try to combo, but I mean, what it really does is turn off to go wide. It's not like he's going to be getting counters to start killing my stuff right away. All right, I'm going to Green Sun Zenith for Heritage Druid and try to set up a nice turn for next turn where I can glimpse for significant value. Vapor Snag set me back a good bit. But these things happen. I mean, I guess I'm sad if he goes land, Swift Spear, equip, attack, but he doesn't have the Swift Spear, and I think has he missed a land drop now? Yeah, it's turn 4. He's also missed a land drop. So it's hard to top deck both the Swift Spear and a land. Don't think Jete's a thing yet. Wow, he's just stuck on nothing here? What is he holding? Could be Electrickery shenanigans? That's interesting. This part's easy. Mana Leak? Mana Leak. Now what? If I Sentinel, I can make mana? Or I can just attack. Like I can attack him for 3, or I can make 3 mana to go Glimpse Deathrite, draw 1 card, spend the last mana on a Zenith. It does get the Deathrite down. It's probably better than attacking for 3. Haven. So I can Green Sun Zenith for what? A Nettle Sentinel? Sure. I mean, he doesn't keep going, but basically builds me a board. I can attack for a bunch next turn. I assume Nettle Sentinel's the best I can do. I mean, I could do Deathrite, but yeah, I only have the 1 black mana, and this hits for 2, which is what the Deathrite does. All right. Also, we're kind of set up for next turn. 2, 4, 6, 7. So this is lethal next turn. Check. Your go. And there we go. Good games. Weird games.
Good games.
You're so depressed when you lose with Delver.
It's so sad.
It's like out of the tournament now. I know, you're so sad.
It saddens me. It does. The whole
What
time.
were you holding in that last game?
Everything is awkward. Let me pull it up. I can't pull it up, so I can't tell you. So I had Electric Bolt, which wouldn't work on anything useful.
Okay.
I had the Hasty Guy, but without an extra land drop, it wouldn't have mattered. So I'm I can just, maybe he's going to try to combo, and I can counterspell and give me a turn to draw what I need in order to stop it. It was just awkward. I had turn 1 Delver with Mental Misstep backup, and then I get Taxium Probe you, and I see 2 Mental Missteps.
Yep.
And I go, I don't think I can win from here, was actually my thought. So, like, the deck needs to apply pressure. My hand was fine if I could also be applying the pressure during the same time.
Yeah.
But as soon as that creature dies, like, I don't have enough to then pressure.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if it's funny. Mental Misstep has no synergy with what I'm doing, but I'm like, I true Mental Missteps in my opening hand. If I could just like stop him from playing a Delver, if we just like counter his first creature or two, like I buy a bunch of time, then I can just like beat down with dorky things. That's probably good enough, and it was.
That's exactly what happened. Because if I've got like a 3-power flyer in there, then I can start playing around and having some fun. Then Vapor Stagging your guy actually does something other than kill a 1/1, right? Like, it's You get
a tempo swing in addition to killing the 1/1, but yeah, you couldn't take advantage of the tempo swing. Is kind of your point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I had nothing to take advantage. So like, what I'm doing is I'm just time walking a little. Like, it just wasn't. It wasn't there. I wasn't able to make it happen. I failed the deck snag attack. I failed the deck.
Warmonks is making a pretty good point in the chat. Maybe it's just that I am the beatdown in that matchup and you're the control.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends. Like, I certainly can be the beatdown. That's kind of how we played it that last game.
Yep.
Interesting. So Elves survives another week. Delver does not. I don't know. Which, look, the cards in Delver are good. They're not the most broken cards in this format.
Agreed.